Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's season 10, episode 9, and today we begin a 3-episode dramatic run-in against Manchester United in the Premier League before 2 big cup finals in other competitions. You can see from the league table, mathematically we can still win the league, although it is very unlikely as City have a game in hand, so we're in a rather strange situation today where we could finish the day top of the league, but still not know if we've won the title despite finishing our season. So that's all a little bit peculiar. Manchester City have an even bigger fixture pile up than us as they've reached the Champions League semi-final as well as the FA Cup final against us. One thing is for sure, if we beat second place Manchester United today though, we will finish in our highest ever position in this series and Newcastle's highest position since it started and for many decades before that as well. We're guaranteed second place if we beat United, if we draw we're guaranteed third and if we lose we're guaranteed third as well. But we could still win the league, although City are at home to Burnley today and I'd expect it to all be wrapped up anyway. But another wonderful season, and although we'd love to win the Premier League, I'm more focused on the FA Cup and Europa League final, as they're the competitions that could really boost our reputation and get us an opportunity at a big European club. We've said we want the next move to be to one of the powerhouses. We haven't had that opportunity yet, but with the likes of Real Madrid having jobs available in the summer, it's going to make things a little bit interesting. Now we're also going to take a little time to look at 3 different features of our series during these episodes, as we're only playing 1 game in each. The last episode against Lyon in the Europa League final will obviously be one where we focus on our end of season review and go and have a look at the job centre screen. The FA Cup final against Manchester City, we're going to focus on dynamics before that to see where our squad stands and what's possibly going to happen over the summer. We've got a really experienced squad and a lot of those players may move on or become less important in the squad, and what happens then, who's ready to take over from them. And today before we play Manchester United, a few people in both series actually have reminded me in the comments that I haven't done much on training for the last couple of years and I normally have a look once a year, so we're going to go and have a look at individual training just to see how it shapes up in this series and compare it to what we do at Torquay in the One Club Challenge. But before we do all of that, let's quickly go and look at the schedule. We've only had a few games off camera, but obviously you need to know the results. In the last episode, we lost 1-0 to Manchester City due to that howler from David Raya. He has now been dropped to Machilov has become first choice keeper. That started in a 4-0 win over Fulham, a really convincing display. Arzani picked up a knock, but he's been alright since, so there's no real complaints from that one. We won 5-0 away in Espanyol in the first leg of the Europa League semi-final. Now I know I said we'd probably show you the second leg on camera, but at this point I knew there was absolutely no value in doing that, as you were only going to see us play our reserves and stumble through with a backup team. But a brilliant performance on the road. You can see 4 of the goals came in the last 20 minutes. Douglas Luiz missed a penalty in that one as well, so it could have been even better, but what a European performance, and as you can see we've now got Lyon in the final. They managed to put out Liverpool, who we avoid a 6th encounter against. They knocked us out of our Carabao Cup campaign earlier in the year, so we're probably quite pleased to avoid them, though Lyon have got a lot of world-class players and are going to be a very stern test. We then played Wolves away in the Premier League. We won this one 2-0. Unfortunately, Mason Greenwood had to play on the left, and although he scored, which was good news, he was replacing Brian Barrett, who's out for a month. That includes today. He's 50-50 for the FA Cup final next Saturday, and then the Wednesday after against Lyon, he should be fit by then. So I haven't quite decided what we'll do next weekend, but hopefully in 10 days' time, he'll be crucial to our European success. This month started with a bit of disappointment though. We pretty much ruled ourselves out of the title race against Sunderland. As it stands, we would be top now if we'd won that game, but we had to rest a few players as they were knackered from the game 2 days earlier. We just couldn't keep up with the schedule, and not having that financial investment and big squad like City really seems to have harmed us in that one. And then we drew 1-1 at home to Espanyol. We played loads of reserve players in this one, and even one of the youngsters, Nigel Stone, at just 15 years of age, has made an appearance in the league and started a game in a European semi-final. So he'll be delighted with that, but he's picked up a knock now as well, so won't feature for the rest of this year. So as well as having Brian Barrett doubtful today, Oliveira pulled his hamstring in the Espanyol match, so he's unavailable for today and probably for the other 2 as well. So no cup final specials from him, and Andrew Edwards is obviously ineligible as he's on loan from United. But let's quickly go and have a look at training. I just want to show you the individual side more than anything, as we haven't particularly done any team training in the last month due to playing a game every 2 days. That's probably one of the most important things I would say about training when you come to the end of the season, and we've got a much smaller squad than our rivals, so we're competing with sort of 20 to 22 players. You've got to rest them from training, whether it's giving a day or two off after big games, or when you've got 2 in 3 days, just giving them that period between the games off to try and make sure they're all 95% fit for the next one. Of course, one of the most important parts of this head coach series, as we don't pick the players or arrange their contracts, we have to have good communication with them off the pitch, and using the training performance report is one of the best ways of doing that. Every time the top 3 for each week are presented to us, as long as their rating's above an 8.5, we always go and praise them, unless they've been in it the week before. That's something that many of you regular players will probably know anyway. If you do it 2 or 3 weeks in a row, they start to get a bit frustrated and say they're not prepared to go over the subject again. Some people just don't like too much praise. So that's why we've ignored Ranzan this week, but the other 2 we have gone and praised, and if Ranzan's at the top again next week, having had a break in between, we can then go and praise him again. We've got lots of players who are at high risk of injury, but we've got 3 big games and we've just got to get them through it, and then hopefully they can have a nice break in the summer and enjoy next season under their new manager. Or maybe if we can get a move, the director of football at our new club will like some of the players and bring them along to join us again. We've had it with Aaron Jarvis in non-league, so there's no reason it can't happen here. I guess the one biggest difference between this save and the One Club series, where we're trying to bring through youth players or younger players as free agents, here we're just getting the players given to us, and our director of football's normally signing ready-made pros, so we're not focusing too much on the individual training. We just want them to work with a high-quality coaching team to make sure they're in a good tactical shape, which we're often having to change around. In our One Club series, we want to try and keep a steady tactic, so therefore we can give them a bit more individual work and allow them to focus on individual attributes that will improve their game and improve our effectiveness within a tactic. However, in this save, because we've got to focus so much on the general training, we are always changing shape. We're having to change roles around as we get new players in, and the fact that we've always got new players coming in who aren't always used to the way we play, we do try and leave it more to the general training and only touch this screen if we need to. So the likes of Jamal Lewis has been working on a certain role because he wasn't natural in an attacking role when we came in, and we knew playing with an inside forward we'd need him. But next year, for example, if Andre Hayek becomes first choice, he's a natural winger, we'd probably take that one off. Rene Bazan we were looking at to train as a left back, but our assistant manager already set that up, so we didn't need to worry about that. We've got Arzani working on corners because he was the best taker at the club, but wasn't particularly fantastic, so that's the reason he's got an individual focus. And then, completely unlike our other series, we haven't got any mentoring groups in this one, and the reason for it, if we go to the general squad info, is most of the players are experienced now, and of the young ones, Andre Hayek's got a really good personality anyway, Mafloufi's got a good personality, and Bernard Martin's a superstar, so he's too influential already, despite the fact we could probably improve it slightly. We've got a really aging team, so we've got loads of candidates who would be great mentors, but they haven't really got anyone they can mentor. The only one they had been doing previously was Lavinas, but now he's developed and got a bit older. So if we get superstars through in our youth intake, we'd probably focus on them, but as we haven't had that for the last couple of years, and Nigel Stone had a decent personality, we don't really need to worry about that at the moment. So training's a bit more hands-off in this one than I expected it to be. When we were down in non-league, we had to focus a lot on the players to really try and get the best out of them. But here we want to take advantage of the high-quality staff we've got and allow the players to work in general training with them. So if we go and look at our coaching team, we've got a full quota of 11 coaches at the club, and if we look at their actual star rating, although we're a little bit poor in some areas, you can see the likes of fitness, we're really strong. Defensively, we're strong. We've got good goalkeeping coaches. It's only really in possession and moving forward we struggle a bit, but we have got some superstar players there, so it's not too much of an issue. I guess in this series where we're getting ready-made players bought in by our director of football, it hasn't been a huge concern for us, as a lot of the other players that we have bought in have been able to go on loan to good clubs anyway. So the likes of Zia, who's playing at Marseille, and Palanco, who's gone to Ajax in January, they're already getting great training, so there's no point keeping them here and mentoring them. But that's just a little insight into the training here. It's not a great deal of hands-on work to be done, which has worked out quite well with the focus we've got on our tactics and trying to beat these sides in the biggest possible games. So let's get into the final Premier League game of the season. A win guarantees us second place and a highest ever position in the series, and if Manchester City don't win today, it gives us a tiny sniff at the title as well. They're at home to 16th place Burnley, so we know it's unlikely, but let's see if we can beat Mourinho's United and stop them from having a chance at defending the title. We'll go through our lineup today. It's pretty much as you would expect, just the change on the left wing due to Barrett's injury and Machilov now being our first choice keeper. So he's in goal with Gomez and Lewis the fullbacks, Konza and Yanderson in the middle. The youngsters are really starting to take over in terms of star rating, so Mafloufi's now rated better than Konza, but he's not a ball playing defender, so I don't want to meddle with a tactic 3 games from the end of the season, but if we do end up being here next year, we'll have to think about changing that. We've got Douglas Luiz in a Segundo Volante role, Billy Gilmore in the middle. Again, Leonardo's got a better star rating than him, so something else we've got to think about. Arzani's on the right wing as the advanced playmaker, Ranzan's the attacking midfielder due to Oliveira's injury, and Hayek's on the left hand side with Florentin Bernard up front. We'll change Hayek to a winger when we get into the match. So let's go and see if we can get the 3 points and secure our highest ever league position. It's the 4-3-3 for Man United. They've got Savage and Braganca in the middle, who caused us so much trouble earlier in the year, particularly in that FA Cup semi-final just a month or so ago. They've still got Dalot and De Gea from real life, Mauricio, the former Everton striker, on the right wing, Dembele, the Barcelona youngster in real life. How old's De Gea got to be now? 37 years of age, 10 years into the series, and he still looks just as good, just his agility dropping slightly. So none of those wonderful saves with his feet, but everything else is still intact. Let's go and talk to the boys then. Fingers crossed they can prove a point. We beat them last month, but it took extra time, so I think a draw's probably the most likely outcome. They've got all of their star strikers back though. Thompson wasn't fit for the FA Cup one, so that could make things a little more tricky as we change Hayek to a winger. He can do the first 30 seconds without it, but don't forget against United last time in that FA Cup game, we were behind in 14 seconds, and it was almost an absolute replica there with a cross from the right, but we deflected it behind for the corner. The tactical change has been made and Braganca puts the corner in, but Billy Gilmore heads away as far as Kabasele. He gets it back out wide, but the highlight ends, and now we're back with United at right back. Mauricio gets it from the Dalot throw-in. He finds Braganca. We've really got to focus on this game as he gives it away to Gomez, and now we can create our first chance. Braganca recovers with a tackle, but it only falls to Arzani on the right, into Bernard. He loses out in the air, and it falls for Douglas Luiz. Gomez to Gilmore, now Ranzan on the edge. No pressure on him, he shoots with his left foot, but it's just wide of the post, and De Gea didn't look worried by it at all. It's Gomez on the right with a throw to Ranzan. He's been challenged, and now United have got it in the middle. Garay with a long ball over the top to Thompson. Beats the 2 centre-halves with ease. Machilov makes a good save though, and he's got safe hands at the second attempt. Thompson's looking a superstar though. We're going to have to be careful of him. 10 minutes gone, and only United have mustered a shot on target, so they've probably had the slightly better start. A quarter of the game gone and bad news from the Etihad. City have taken the lead against Burnley, so as we suspected, we're not going to be winning the title, but it doesn't change the fact we've got to win this game and secure our highest ever league position. It's Lewis on the left hand side. We've got to think with the budget we've got as Bernard's in, we'll come back to that, and now he's injured from having the shot, and unfortunately he's going to be coming off in a lot of pain, and another star player injured just before our 2 big finals. So Bernard Martin, who nearly all of the money was wasted on last summer, despite us needing various other players, is going to come on for this one and be our first choice striker for the 2 big cup finals. He's really got a chance now to write himself into folklore after being a backup for so much of the season. Let's make that change then. Let's not forget about Bernard Martin. 3-star ability, 4.5 potential. He was a wonder kid when he joined the club at the start of the season, and now he's a really good striker. Hopefully he can do something special. It's Gilmore with the ball in. Martin's challenging for it, but he loses out in the air. The point we were making before that injury and the shot on target we had, and we'll have to come back to it again as Mauricio's put Dembele in. There's a man in the middle in Thompson, but Jamal Lewis is defending well. Dalot to Garay, Dalot again, but luckily it's cleared away. Here's Bernard Martin. It's an end-to-end game, just like the FA Cup semi. Martin clips it in, but there's no one in there, and it falls to Arzani on the edge of the box. He plays a 1-2 with Gilmore. Out to Jamal Lewis on the left, goes for the shot, but it's a tame effort, straight into the arms of De Gea. As I was saying, we've got quite a low budget in this league. We're normally around 9th or 10th for the spending. Our wage budget's 6th or 7th in the league, so we're by no means one of the massive clubs in this division. Even though Newcastle have got a wonderful fan base, we've still got a stingy owner. Even though it's not Mike Ashley, you might as well put his name on it again. It's Hayek on the edge to Arzani, it bubbles around in there and Savic clears away, and now Ousmane Dembele on the left trying to get the ball forward, but it's blocked. We're seeing loads of highlights. It's a good game of football, but there's not really been any clear-cut chances other than that one for Bernard. I say as Thompson skins the two defenders, he goes in one-on-one and shoots. It's a brilliant save by Machilov, and it's cleared away by the defender. It's Kabasele on the left-hand side again though. We really need some respite at the moment. It's Thompson with a shot just wide of the post. He is certainly a world-class player. If they play two up front and put Thompson up there with the other striker, Mauricio, the former Everton man, they would run absolute riot. I'm really surprised they haven't done that. I know Mourinho doesn't like to attack, but two strikers has to be the way with those players. It's into Bernard Martino, who has a header at De Gea, and he makes a comfortable save. 10 minutes to the break, it remains goalless, but both sides have showed attacking intent. It's Arzani with a free kick on the right. He's headed away as far as Janderson. He's found himself on an unfamiliar position on the left wing. He gets it back to Jamal Lewis on halfway. Now Konza, back to Lewis again and Gilmour. Hayek's got a chance to cut in. He doesn't prefer to do that. He's a more natural winger, but he's found Billy Gilmour, who's been fouled. The play continues though as Arzani's got it on the edge, and Kabasele with a clearance hits his own man into the arms of De Gea. A good save by the experienced keeper. We've got the ball in the middle again with Luiz. We're really coming forward with intent now. We found our way back into this game. Hayek's got the ball on the edge to Ranzan. His shot's blocked. We've got a warning to close Thompson down in the middle of our attack, and Braganca finally gets the ball away to the aforementioned Thompson. The highlight ends, and with a minute to the break, it looks like it's remarkably going to be 0-0 at half time. It's Arzani to take the corner. Janderson with the ball is deflected in. What on earth's happened there? The corner came into the box. I have no idea what was going on, and it deflected off the defender into the back of the net, and we somehow lead 1-0 at the break. I was absolutely speechless at that one. Janderson gets the ball to Douglas Luiz. He goes the ball down the right hand side. It's a lucky deflection. The pass was poor, but it came back to him. Here's Bernard Martin. He shoots just over the bar. He's looked really threatening since he came on the pitch. Half time, it's going to be 1-0, and what a lucky goal to get us ahead. Manchester City is still winning by the same scoreline, so unfortunately as it stands we can't be champions. Let's talk to the boys, tell them to prove a point. We don't want them getting sloppy in the second half, and more importantly we need to keep morale up as we go into our two big cup finals next week. Into the second half, it's Bernard Martin with a kick off to Ranzan. He finds Billy Gilmour. Out to Arzani on the right hand side. He gets it forward to Martin again. It's a good sliding challenge and away to Garay. It's Mauricio on the right hand side. He's got the ball down the line. He's got two men running off him. One of them's Thompson. Beats the man with ease and puts it in. He has been absolutely unbelievable today. We've got to go and take a look at him. He's just world class. He's got pace, he's got strength, agility and acceleration. And his finishing and technique's brilliant as well. So we just can't compete with him, and him combined with Mauricio are an absolutely deadly striking duo. We're 70 minutes in now, it's Lewis with a throw on the left. We're going to make our subs after this highlight, just to try and rest a few, make sure we don't get any red cards. We've got 3 on a yellow and an FA Cup final coming up. We can't afford to have any more sent off. Braganca's in the box, it's a brilliant save by Machilov. He's keeping us in the game here as United start to dominate. Andre Hayek's nervous. We're going to bring on Mason Greenwood on the left. He'll go to the inside forward role, as he prefers to anyway, and I'm not sure who the other sub's going to be. We're either going to replace the right back Gomez with Pedro, as he's not had the best game, or we're going to take off Billy Gilmour, who's on a yellow card, and bring on a better replacement in Leonardo, according to our assistant manager. A quarter of an hour to go. Hopefully we can nick a winner, but it looks like we're going to have to settle for the draw, the result we predicted pre-game. Mauricio flicks the ball on from a long De Gea kick. We've now got a warning to close him down as well, as Machilov gets the ball at the back. He brings it out for Gomez at right back. He's charging forward, wants to take them all on himself, but in the end he's delivered early and Greenwood gets up in the air. It falls for Jamal Lewis, the left back. He finds Arzani. He's not really got any options, so he goes back to Luiz. There's nothing in front of him. United have got so many behind the ball. It's a typical Mourinho shape. Though Ranzan deflects one in, it's our second lucky goal of the game. Martin knocks it back to Ranzan. It bobbles off Diogo Dalot and deflects past De Gea, who hasn't quite got that agility from his youth. It's Kabasele on on the list. As it stands, we're going second in the league, and we are going to finish in our highest ever position. Only City have got a game to play, United have got nothing left, so we'll definitely finish above them with a win. Manchester City is still winning 1-0 with 10 to go, so the title's out of reach, but what a wonderful performance to finish second amongst all these big sides with huge budgets. It's De Gea with a long kick downfield. He's found Mauricio on the right again, but Jamal Lewis heads away. He's been caught out with the rebound though. Konza hits it long downfield and it's fallen straight to Martin. Brilliant save by De Gea, and Bernard Martin struggling in front of goal. He's not been a regular this season, but he's not really showing the quality his attributes suggest. It's Thompson in the middle. United going for a last gasp equaliser. Machilov pushes it away, a brilliant save, and we've managed to survive with just stoppage time to go, 4 minutes to be added on. Leonardo's lost the ball in the middle to sub. Where's Jamal Lewis going? Mauricio's in one-on-one. It deflects off the defender, and Machilov has made a brilliant double save to see it behind for a corner. We're going to go to cautious very quickly. Our team instructions are going to be to time waste, be more disciplined in our shape. We're also going to hold our shape, slow the pace down, and regroup when we lose possession. We want to make sure we get these 3 points. Second place is a must to finish in. Braganca with a cross to Dallo. Yanderson heads it away. A brilliant end to the game, although I'd like it to be less nervy, and Leonardo can make that happen now on the break. Bernard Martin chases it on the left. There's 2 in the middle if he can find them. Goes back to Louise on the edge, shoots and is saved by De Gea out on the left hand side. We're just going to drop Jamal Lewis to a support role. We don't want him getting caught out like he was a minute ago, and we've got the corner now. Hopefully we'll slow it down and waste a few more of those seconds. It's Ranzan who's going to deliver it with his left foot. An in-swinging delivery. To the back post, Martin loses out, but Yanderson gets it back to Ranzan again. He tries to deliver, but it's blocked for a throw, and we're seeing out time quite nicely now. We've got just 45 seconds left. Jamal Lewis is wasting time at left back. He's on a yellow, so I don't want him to take too long, but it looks like he's going to take it short eventually. The referee's been extremely lenient with the time here, and Jamal Lewis finally throws it straight at Diogo Dallo. He finds Leonardo though, and we've won a free kick due to a Chong foul. It looked like he got the ball, but apparently he went through Douglas Luiz to do it. We've got a free kick with Arzani. Surely it's going to be the last action of the game. Will he even get to take it? He's taking as long as he possibly can. He's still not taking it. It's been nearly 20 seconds, and finally he chips it in. It goes wide of the post. The final whistle goes. We win 2-1, and we've guaranteed a second place finish thanks to 2 own goals from United. Thompson scored a brilliant goal in between, and they were probably the better side, so we can't think of much to say, Michelantia. I'm going to tell them they did what was needed, and well done to them. We haven't won the title, but we've guaranteed second, our best ever finish in the series. Second in the Premier League with the budget we've got is an absolute miracle. Well done to Manchester City for winning the league. They've not got to worry about their game in midweek, so I'd imagine they'll play their reserve side and have their first lot out against us next week. Let's quickly have a look at what the media have said about the game. United lose top spot, we guarantee second, and they've fallen all the way down to third. The only other thing we've got to worry about ahead of the FA Cup final next week and the Europa League one in 10 days time is what these 2 injuries are. Florentin Bernard's out for 3 days. That's a really good outcome for us, and I can see there Billy Gilmore's 1 to 2 days, so both of them should be fit for the 2 finals. You can see Barrett's back in training, but he might not be fit for next Saturday, but certainly the midweek after he'll be playing in the Europa League final. So congratulations to Manchester City, and well done to the Newcastle boys. But you know when we're next going to be back? We've got Manchester City in the FA Cup final next week. We'll look at dynamics before that one as well, and then our end of season review follows the Europa League final in 2 episodes time on Monday. But if you did enjoy this episode and seeing us secure our highest ever Premier League finish, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know down in the comments if you think we can win either of the 2 finals. See how many of you are right in a couple of episodes time. Do you think we'll win one, both or neither? And will we get a big move in the summer based on our results? Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories, this one The Head Coach and our One Club series part of the Furniture with Torquay United. We're well into season 11 of that one now, and it's been a very interesting season so far. There's also weekly content every Friday from Snooker 19, and from the end of this month we'll have loads of content from Cricket 19 as well. But a massive thanks for watching and your continued support with this series and the channel in general. I really do appreciate it as always, and we'll see you next time for a massive FA Cup final against City, followed by another European final the episode after.